Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good one. It's been a while since I did one of these tier maker lists or tier maker rankings, whatever you want to call them. And as you all know, I'm going through the Friday the 13th series with my buddies here on YouTube. But I figured I'd make one of these lists. It's been a while, and I chose to do the original Friday the 13th film, and we're going to rank the characters today. And the way I'm going to do this, I have all these categories: outstanding, good, mediocre, bad, terrible, and no opinion. And I'm going to be placing these characters in each category depending on how I feel. This is going to be like how much I love the characters and what they did in the film and their personalities. All that's going to have a factor in this. Their kills are going to have nothing to do with this. Just keep that in mind. And also, Jason Nike from the J Man's Movie Cave is going to have an award show for Friday the 13th. It may be the first award show ever on YouTube for this film. I don't know. I never heard of any before this, so it's very interesting. And I'm involved with a bunch of other people for nominating different categories. And be sure to check that out August 13th, guys. It's going to be huge, and it's something you're not going to want to miss. And lastly, I'm using an already made tier list. This was made by Mr. Prince Kickass. I will link his YouTube channel in the description as well, along with Jason Nike's for his award show. So you guys will be subscribed to them as well. And let's get into this, guys. So first off, I'm gonna go with Crazy Ralph. I think Crazy Ralph is outstanding. I love him. He was a very important character, I think, in the first movie, playing as a red herring, even though that wasn't played out very well. But the character himself is just so interesting. He's like the harbinger of doom. He's always giving out these warnings and that, and he's just trying to help people out. Really, he's not there to harm any of them, even though he likes to hang out in their pantries and such. But yeah, just a great character, and the movie wouldn't be the same without him. So I love him. Next up, let's take the two from the first in the store. I really have no opinion on these people. We see them for like 15, 20 seconds tops. And yeah, we really get no interaction with them. Don't know what they're really like or anything. They're just pretty much staring like, you're going to Camp Blood? But yeah, no opinion on them. They're going in that category. Next up, let's grab, I don't know. Let's grab my favorite character in the whole movie, which happens to be Brenda. I'll put these in order here. But yeah, Brenda is great. She is, I'd say, the most responsible out of all of them at the camp. Uh, she goes and she thought that Nettie was drowning. She was in a second to save him. She hears the kid's voice. Well, it's really Pamela, but she hears the kid's voice and goes out in the pouring down rain to try to find it and see if the kid's actually in danger when there really was no kid. It was a trap. But she's this really kind-hearted, smart. Uh, she knows a lot of things like about like vitamin C and about. I think she's like might be like a vegetarian or something because or a what do you call that? Vegan. Anyway, I just can't get enough of Brenda. She's gorgeous, she's smart, and she's the whole package in my opinion. Next up, let's take Nettie, who tried to kill Brenda with the arrow. Not really, but he could have. And him, I'm gonna put him under good. He was definitely the comic relief in that film, the clown, and yeah, he was almost like Shelley a little bit in part three, right? He was doing different things like pranks and that, like when he's pretending to drown and that. It's pretty much for attention. But I felt for the guy, especially that one scene where he's watching Marcy and Kevin Bacon's character and from afar, and he seems so lonely in that. So I feel him. So I'm putting him in the good category. I like Nettie. Next up, let's go with this random from the first. Really, if I'm being honest, I really don't have an opinion on her. We don't really get much at all. She literally goes with the guy into like the barn or whatever upstairs and gets caught by Pamela. It's like it's not much time at all to spend with her, so I really have no opinion. And she doesn't even have that much dialogue or whatever. Next up, we'll go with this creep, friggin' Steve Christie. To me, I'm putting him in the terrible category. I don't care. I freaking hate this guy. He's supposed to be running the camp and reopen it, which is a bad idea to begin with. And he puts a lot of pressure on his counselors, it seems, even though he's not super mean about it. And but the worst is that the way he looks at Alice and that, and Alice is not interested. It doesn't seem that way at all, but he's still giving her weird signals and like touching her face and stuff, and he's just a creep. The way he looks, is dressed is creepy too. All of his hair and those short shorts and his bandana. And then he leaves like right away and spends the whole half the movie at the diner where he should be helping out, right? If he wants to open the place. So to me, he's terrible, and I don't like him. Next up, oh, let's go with the dog from the first. I can't believe the dog is in this list, but it's pretty awesome. I think he's a good boy. Yeah, like, I mean, the dog doesn't bark, doesn't growl, nothing at Annie at the first. We don't get much time with him, but he's a good boy. I'm going to put him in the good category. Next up, let's go with one of the best characters, Pamela Voorhees, played by Betsy Palmer. She's outstanding. Uh, Great performance, like the best in the film, and it really shows. She is great. I love when she shows up at the end. We don't get enough of her, but when we do get her, she is great. And when she snaps, it's awesome. The only kind of thing I find, it's a little corny the way she fights with the slapping and that, but the performance is so good. So yeah, she's going in outstanding. Next up, we'll take the nurse at the end. Like, she really has nothing to do with this movie. Like, barely. She's going in no opinion because, yeah, she's not even a character you think of. Next up, well, might as well take the doctor at the same time because I'm putting him right beside her. We really get no time with him either. He says like a couple lines and that's it. Don't know nothing about him, so I really don't have opinion. Next, we'll take the wacky cop, who's has doesn't take no nonsense from anybody. I'm gonna put him in mediocre. I don't mind him at all. He's kind of crazy and wacky towards Ned, but I mean the way if you see Ned going in his Indian costume there. But yeah, he's different. He's kind of like a red herring too because he's a little off for a cop, like very by the books it seems, and just kind of strict a little bit, not taking any nonsense. But yeah, he's okay. He's mediocre to me. Mediocre meaning like neutral, pretty much. Don't hate him, don't love him, but he's there, and I like that he's in the movie. Next up, I'm gonna go with Mr. Bacon himself, Kevin Bacon, as Jack, I believe his name in the movie is. I'm gonna put him under mediocre as well. Now, hear me out. If it wasn't Kevin Bacon playing this character, he would probably be the most forgettable out of all the counselors. Just saying. Yes, his kill is awesome, and it's my favorite in the film, and it even makes my top 10 kills of the franchise. But like I said, the kills have nothing to do with this ranking. It's the personalities and how the characters come off, you know? And to me, he's mediocre. Not good, not bad. He's just kind of there, and that's fine for this movie. Next up, let's take that truck driver. Now, the truck driver, he was nice enough to give Annie a drive and everything, and he definitely deserves to be up in the good. But then when he's helping her in the truck, it's like, that's not how you help a girl into a truck. He was holding on to a little more than what he probably should have. And he also goes on about Crazy Ralph and saying how weird he is and how crazy it is. But then he ends up almost becoming the same way when he's driving her, like saying, "You're crazy, go up the Camp Blood, you know, it's cursed," and that. It's like he's talking the same way. So I'm putting him in mediocre, where he could have been in good, but then he was kind of a hypocrite towards Crazy Ralph and all that touchy-feely stuff. He's going in mediocre. He might even have potential to be in the bad if we would have had more of him, but for now he's mediocre. Next up, let's take Annie from the very first of the film. It was kind of like a bait and switch. She was going to be our final girl, it seemed like, but she never made the camp. And I'm putting her under outstanding. I think she's great. And if I have to move these around, she would probably be, yeah, she'll probably be my number 3 in this movie for favorite characters as of now in this list. She's so great, kind-hearted. She's willing to hitchhike to her job, so she knows she's a worker and she's willing. And I just love her charisma and her character. Uh, she she doesn't believe in no ghost stories and that, and she's really down to earth, and I just love that about her. And it's unfortunate she didn't make it to camp because I think she would have been a great final girl. Next up, let's take Mercy, another outstanding character in my opinion, and I would put her. Uh, I don't know if she's better than Annie or not. It's just too bad we didn't get enough of Annie, but Mercy's great too. 10 out of 10. She's a little funny. She has a good sense of humor to her. She's quirky, uh, sexy. She's just like Brenda, kind of the whole package, except Brenda's more like, I don't know. I think she's more into the books and that, where Mercy's more laid back. But yeah, you gotta love Mercy. And she does have a great kill, even though that has nothing to do with this ranking. Next up, we'll take the girl from the diner. Again, I should probably put her in no opinion because we barely see her. But of all the no opinions we had so far, we actually get a little bit of dialogue from this lady. So I'm putting her mediocre just because she seemed very nice. And, like, what we do see of her is good. I don't know, she seemed polite and everything. I'm almost tempted to put it in the no opinion, but I'm going to leave her in mediocre just because I feel for her. She seemed like a real sweet lady. Next up, let's take Bill. Now, this was kind of Alice's love interest in the film. And he is gonna go, I think, in good. He's not outstanding, but he's good. He literally does everything Alice says the whole movie. She's like, snake, kill it. And he kills it. And the look on his face is like, you don't know if he really wanted to do that or not. He goes and fixes the generator a few times for her. He's always willing to do stuff without giving any lip or anything. Super nice guy. And yeah, playing guitar and shit. He seemed really cool. So I'm putting him I'm putting him under good, and I think that's fitting. Next up, we got the other random from the first, which again I have no opinion, but I do like his line. Oh, we weren't doing anything, or whatever he says. I find that line's funny. Next up, let's go with our final girl, Alice. Now this may become a shock to a lot of people if you don't know me, but I'm putting it under mediocre. I really feel that Marcy, Brenda, and Annie would have all made better final girls than Alice, and if it was a final guy, Bill would have been better. It's not that I hate Alice or anything. It's just she's so mediocre. She's serviceable. That's about it. She fits the role, but she could have been done way better. Um, yeah, she's just not as charismatic or doesn't have as strong as a personality as these other girls in the film. And yeah, it's just too bad. But she does have survival skills. She does decapitate Pamela Voorhees, which is pretty crazy. And she has quite the battle with her. And she's a survivalist. She's willing to tie up the door and go for the gun and all that stuff, which is great. If she wouldn't have done that stuff at the end, she would seriously be in the bad category for me. But she kind of redeems herself at the end. But yeah, she's for the most part she's boring and dull. Like especially all those scenes where she's just taking her time, roaming around and taking naps and stuff. So yeah, she's going in the mediocre category for me, but she could easily slip to the bad. Next up, we'll take the cop. There was never any boy. Uh, I'm gonna put him in no opinion, to be honest. I know this is crazy putting him in no opinion and putting the waitress or the girl working at the diner in mediocre. No, I'll put him in mediocre because there's nothing wrong with him. He's pretty neutral, and I do like that line. We never found any boy. That was a pretty cool line. That's kind of iconic now. So yeah, I'll put him in mediocre. I think that's fitting. But we don't really know too much about him or anything. We barely get any screen time with him. And lastly, we got Kid Jason. Kid Jason. I'm putting him in outstanding. He's really only used as a jump scare. But that jump scare is, at least in the top 3 most iconic scenes in the entire franchise, in my opinion. It's super effective. And yeah, it really gives you that whole wow twist at the end of the film, and without him the film would be totally different. And yeah, I love the scene with Alice in the hospital, like wondering if it makes the audience wonder if he was real or not, like that ghost story. Yeah, and he looks really cool too. I like how he all covered in like almost like moss and that, but it's like sludge from like the swamp, and he's coming up to grab Alice, and just as it just works. So uh, I'd have no choice but putting Jason in outstanding, even though it might have been a dream sequence. So guys, that's my tier ranking for the original Friday 13th from 1980. Uh, this is obviously subjective, and your list is not going to be my list. But I'd be interested if you guys did put on a list like this. If you do, drop the link down in the comments. I'd be glad to go watch it. Uh, like I said, go check out Mr. Prince Kick Ass. His YouTube channel will be in the description. His tier ranking is on YouTube as well, but it's in Spanish. But if you speak Spanish, go check it out. That's why I tweaked mine to be English and changed things around. But yeah, go check out his. Also, go check out the J Man's Movie Cave, Jason Knight's channel. Like I said, he's doing that award show August 13th, which is going to be great. You don't want to miss it, so subscribe now. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching.